Red Pill, I got one question for you. I saw you down in Atlanta. It was a beautiful, it just seemed like the whole family was in unity. I mean, even with the brother Ngozi, which I personally heard a lot about, but that's the first time I actually saw brother Ngozi teaching. He blew my mind. He blew my mind, of course, and my big brother, Minister Inky always, you know, but it was like the way they harmonized together. Add on about the harmonious, you know, time that you had down in Atlanta. Elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, Atlanta was a great experience. It was definitely the visual manifestation of what we've been on this platform talking about over the years, it seems. You know what I mean? Talking about forming Voltron, talking about coming together, talking about unifying, you know, for a bigger purpose, talking about putting all of the idiosyncrasies and stuff like that to the side for a minute and being a fucking man and standing up as a family, you know what I mean? So shout out to KT the Arch Degree. I was able to be with my blood brother and my other brother Blue Pill and my Umi, Mama Pill. We were all in the building at the conference. Amin Ra Squad, House of Consciousness, New Covenant by way of Minister Inky, KTL and the ATL, Black Power Cartel, Hebrew Israelites, Nile Valley Civilization, and RBG Pan-African movements. Nupu was in there. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of people that came through. And let's not mention the brothers and sisters that I was fellowshipping with from different states like Alabama, Florida, my people's from Dade County, you know what I'm talking about, Fort Lauderdale, the Tennessee family, the Mississippi family, the New Orleans family, the Vegas family, the Detroit family, the New York family. I mean, they were from all over. You know, ATL is a major hub, the same way that NYC, New York City, is a hub for people that come from all over the planet to experience consciousness. So ATL is like the southern hub of that at this point. So people converge on that hub from all points, north, west, south, and east, to get this information and to receive this knowledge. So it was powerful, like just the energy in itself, the way the vibration, the way that everyone's levels were, or frequencies were at such a high level. It was peaceful. It was chock full of information. Like you said, I was able to experience the Inky and Ngozi show. Oh, man. You know what I'm talking about? With contributions from my brother KT the Arch Degree, contributions from brother Ankh and other people that were in the audience. Like, my intellect, or my IQ for that matter, was raised a few notches just by being in their presence, just by soaking up information that was spilling over. People thought that they were going to see those brothers fiercely go at it, talk about each other, make insults, you know, basically, you know, give a black eye to the movement. But we saw everything of the opposite.
I was about to say, they was like Goku and Vegeta for all the Dragon Ball people out there, son. You know what I mean? Even though Vegeta and Goku go at it, when it's time to battle, they team up. They might even fuse and become one body. You know what I mean? And that's what they did that night, quiet as kept, if y'all really pay attention to the information.
You know, we had round table with our elder, Professor Smalls. We had a war council also that took place.
Oh, with
Sarasun Seti, and some things got aired out the way that it's supposed to be aired out. You'll know about that in the near future, you know, because when the body politic begins to form, or rather when the different groups begin to converge, those that are averse to that group, or those who are going against the collective, or those who are causing confusion in the community, eventually will get called out. That's just the way that it goes at the end of the day, even if it's one of your favorite lecturers or not. but it's gonna, certain things have to come to the forefront. We have to establish some kind of rules and checks and balances in the community. If we're talking about nationhood and nation building, we have to form a governmental structure, correct? And in a governmental structure, there has to be regulations, there has to be rules set, there has to be rules that we all have to abide by. Nobody is going to be above scrutiny, or nobody will be beyond reproach when it comes to forming this government.
It's guidelines.
Guidelines. It has to be like that, or else somebody with a fucking ego the size of Jupiter will come in here and run them up. And then say things and do things and publicly try to throw the whole community under the bus, and nobody can, and then you feel like nobody has a right to say anything or defend the legacies of Dr. Ben, Dr. Valentine, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Clark, okay, Dr. Van Sertima, all of the great ones whose shoulders my mother, Mama Pill, all of the people who subscribe to the conscious community, whose lives are on the line right now. Let's talk about this fucking King Noble shit, all right? So when I come to Atlanta, I get put on, and King Noble is on Fox, and he's on Hannity because he's making videos publicly talking about he support cop killers and whatnot and all of this other stuff. So for the record, we have to put it out there that King Noble was never in the conscious community.
Separate ourselves. Yeah, we gotta.
All right.
We gotta separate ourselves and make sure that we don't identify ourselves with that type of energy, because what's gonna end up happening is, between who he's talking about now and who he was just talking about previously, that makes everybody focus on the controversy and the problem rather than the teachings of the elders, rather than the work that we're doing, rather than the progress that we're making. We end up focusing on the controversy of stuff that has nothing to do with us. So we have to separate ourselves from those people that have nothing to do with the progress of our community and continue to do the work so that we may progress.
But back to the King Noble thing, because when I travel, a lot of people are not familiar with is quote unquote the conscious community, who's involved in the conscious community, who is quote unquote speaking for the conscious community. This is what I would want to say first and foremost. If you don't have a master teacher who basically who brought you into the conscious community, who is basically signing off for you to say that you are part of the conscious community, because that is the protocol that we worked with from day one. All right, before YouTube era, before social media era, where anybody can upload a video, sound deep, regurgitate some stuff that they saw somebody else say, or something that they researched from Google, and then appoint themselves a part of the community. That was a problem. Right. All right, that was a problem.
That's right.
Okay, that was a huge problem. That is not. You're not ushering yourself into a collective community by doing that. You are not considered a card-carrying member. You're not one of the teachers. You could be a student or you could be a participant, but there's a certain amount of teachers. There's names. Yeah, there's names. There's no secret teachers. There's nobody there's names that we can name. There's organizations that people belong to, and then you got teachers that don't belong to organizations for reasons that I approve with, because they don't want to be tied to any organization. They jump in, they have doctrines and ideologies that they picked up in different organizations on their journey or on their quest as individuals who are searching, man, know thyself, who are searching for the greater part of themselves, but they might not be a part of that pantheon of teachers. So King Noble is not a part of that pantheon. I hate to burst anybody's bubbles or whatnot. He is a participant in consciousness. He has messages that he delivers. He has an organization that he's formed, but he's never truly been on the stage, right, in Harlem or in New York for that matter. He's not a part of that circle. He doesn't identify with any of the master teachers. There's no master teacher that's breathing right now that's like, yo, I brought him in, not to my knowledge. So now somebody who is basically a rogue, who's outside of the circle, is now being targeted by white supremacists, Fox 5 and all of these other places. Richard Sherman, they got Richard Sherman doing press conferences talking about King Noble. So now the light is on King Noble. By proxy, the light is on everybody. So the infiltration that took place, I spoke about this years ago, would be through King Noble. Somebody is not part of that circle, because as being part of the circle, it's just certain things that we don't involve ourselves in, and it's certain shit that we don't step in. So now, going back to the conversation that we had before, there's something called a kill list. And a kill list is what Obama and all of these other warmongers are using overseas, where they're droning motherfuckers off the kill list. And the kill list is like, yo, you don't even have to be a terrorist or identified as a terrorist. They have a kill list for people that are potential terrorists. So now the Homeland kill list, now when you're labeled a Homeland Security or a Homeland Terrorist, now you're put on the kill list. And I'm not saying this is not fear mongering. This is not to say that certain people already haven't been on a quote unquote watch or kill list, but this is just to say, to look at what's happening. Look at the fucking scheme that's taking place while you over petty shit, while you're over here disunifying a community, while you're over here throwing communities under the bus, acting like you're not part of the community. Over on that side, there's some shit brewing and taking place that you eventually gonna have to answer to. Okay? You can run and hide and jump in a time machine and go all in the fucking past all you want, but deal with right now. Deal with what's going on. Deal with the agenda that's taking place right now. Deal with the agenda where all of this Black Lives Matter shit and all of this other things, this King Noble and all of this other shit, is basically government operated and funded ploys to paint the conscious community or the teachers as fucking terrorists. Okay? Let's talk about this shit. Let's talk about the infiltration. Let's talk about how COINTELPRO is utilizing their forces in 2015. Let's talk about DARPA and the involvement in social media, more specifically Facebook. And all of you niggas is running around ranting on Facebook and throwing posts out there. They basically putting everybody on these lists. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the importance of unification. Let's talk about the importance of not speaking about everything on Facebook. Let's talk about let's talk about if you even know how to utilize the dark web or how to communicate anonymously. Like, come on. So, you know, these things and other things need to be talked about. They need to be handled. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. It's like I said, it's a great time to be here. It's a great time to be a part of this movement. It's a great time to be on the front lines. But at this point, at this time, there has to be some kind of regulations that are going to take a fucking sweeping effect over the community. There has to be some checks and balances. There has to be some lines that are drawn in the sand, because any fucking kook can't just jump out there and act like they represent us and say whatever they want to say. It's just not going down like that, because you're putting lives in danger. You're putting legacies in danger. You're putting families in danger. You're putting organizations in danger. So that's what's up.